In the early hours of October 29, 2025, 4 Ukrainian-modified Neptune missiles streaked through Russian airspace. These weren't Western-supplied weapons but homegrown, repurposed anti-ship missiles, now flying a daring land attack mission. Their target, a little-known factory in Karachev, deep inside Russia. The missiles flew low, evading Russia's billion-dollar air defense network. This wasn't about hitting a frontline depot, it was about striking at the core of Russia's war machine. The Elektrodetal plant, a critical but obscure cog in Russia's military industry, was in their crosshairs. Russian defenses, built to spot high-flying threats, never saw them coming. Guided by satellite data and last-minute adjustments from special forces on the ground, the Neptunes executed a new kind of warfare. Each missile was programmed for a specific workshop production, quality control, finished goods, and the plant's power substation. The explosions were precise and devastating, paralyzing the factory's operations. Karachev's residents awoke to fire and chaos, the war suddenly at their doorstep. They saw their town's economic heart in flames, unaware they were witnessing a turning point. This was not just another attack, it was the debut of a new Ukrainian doctrine. Ukraine was no longer meeting Russia head-on, but dismantling its war machine from within. The world would soon realize the rules of this war had changed. 4 missiles had just redrawn the battlefield. Elektrodetal didn't build tanks or missiles. Its products, electrical connectors, insulators, micro-relays, seemed mundane. Yet these tiny parts were the lifeblood of Russia's advanced weaponry. 70% of Russia's military-grade connectors came from this single plant. From tank fire control systems to cruise missile guidance, Elektrodetal's components were everywhere. This centralization was a Soviet legacy, now a critical vulnerability. Sanctions had already cut off foreign alternatives, making Elektrodetal a single point of failure. Ukrainian intelligence mapped out these supply chains, searching for such choke points. Destroying 100 tanks was temporary. Destroying the one factory that made their connectors was strategic. The loss of Elektrodetal would ripple through Russia's entire defense sector. Ukraine had found, and struck, Russia's Achilles heel. The war was no longer about numbers, but about breaking the links that held the Russian war machine together. The impact would be felt far beyond Karachev. The Elektrodetal operation was a showcase of modern warfare. It began with weeks of cyber infiltration. Ukrainian teams mapped the plant's networks, schedules, and floor plans. Partisans on the ground provided real-time intelligence and laser targeting. The Neptune missiles, secretly modified for land attack, flew at treetop level, invisible to Russian radar. Launched from northern Ukraine, they weaved through valleys and riverbeds, ghosts in the machine. As they neared Karachev, onboard guidance and ground lasers ensured pinpoint accuracy. 4 missiles, 4 perfect hits. Production, assembly, testing, and power. No wasted ordnance, no collateral damage. The strike was ruthlessly efficient. Intelligence, engineering, and special forces in perfect harmony. Russia's formidable air defenses were outsmarted, not overpowered. The message was clear. Superior intelligence and precision could bypass brute strength. Ukraine had rewritten the playbook for deep strikes. The heart of a war machine could be stopped with brains, not just brawn. The aftermath was devastation contained within Elektrodetal's walls. Precision machinery was reduced to molten wreckage, the main production lines buried under collapsed roofs. Fire crews arrived to find the plant's core surgically destroyed. By sunrise, Russian authorities realized this was no accident. It was industrial warfare. Elektrodetal's unique equipment couldn't be replaced quickly, especially under sanctions. The plant was effectively dead, its silence echoing through Russia's defense industry. State media tried to spin the story, but satellite images revealed the truth. For workers, jobs vanished overnight. For the military, the loss was catastrophic. Stockpiles of connectors would last only weeks. Defense plants across Russia reported shortages, tanks, missiles, aircraft, all affected. One strike had crippled a nationwide war effort. Russia's industrial might was exposed as brittle, dependent on fragile links. The gears of war had ground to a halt. War is often seen as a contest of brute force. Tanks, artillery, soldiers. Russia's strategy relied on attrition, believing its size would guarantee victory. But the Elektrodetal strike changed the equation. Instead of attacking the muscle, Ukraine targeted the nervous system, the electronics that make modern weapons lethal. Without connectors, a tank is just a steel shell, a missile, a useless tube. Destroying hardware is costly and temporary. Severing the supply of critical components is paralyzing. The effect is exponential. One factory lost, and the entire defense industry stumbles. Assembly lines stall, repairs halt, new systems are delayed. This is asymmetric warfare, using intelligence to inflict outsized damage. Chokepoint warfare means finding the one link the enemy can't replace and breaking it. The loss of Elektrodetal didn't just slow production, it created chaos and cascading failures. Ukraine had found a way to make Russia's size a liability. The war was no longer about who had more tanks but who could keep them running. A single precise strike had shifted the balance. The nervous system was hit, and the body was left paralyzed. The rules of attrition no longer applied. The Elektrodetal attack wasn't luck, it was doctrine. Ukraine's choke point doctrine targets single points of failure in Russia's war machine. Early in the war, Ukraine fought for survival. Later, it wore down Russian logistics. Now, it strikes deep, aiming at the industrial heart. The doctrine seeks facilities that are irreplaceable, vulnerable, and hard to rebuild under sanctions. Elektrodetal was the first, but not the last. Success requires intelligence, cyber penetration, and homegrown, long-range weapons. Ukraine's new missiles and drones allow deep strikes without Western restrictions. The goal isn't to outproduce Russia, but to cripple its efficiency. Every strike forces Moscow to scramble for alternatives, wasting time and resources. It's a strategy of 1,000 cuts, making the war unsustainable for the Kremlin. Ukraine is betting on brains, not brawn, to win the long game. The Elektrodetal strike is part of a broader Ukrainian campaign against Russia's deep infrastructure. Ukrainian drones have hit oil refineries, targeting fuel supplies and export revenues. Railway junctions and bridges have been struck, disrupting military logistics from the Urals to the front. Special forces and drones have blinded Russian radar and surveillance, opening paths for deeper attacks. Each strike is calculated, not random, aimed at critical nodes that keep Russia's war effort running. The psychological impact is immense. Russians now feel the war at home. The Kremlin's narrative of a distant conflict is shattered. Ukraine's multi-domain approach, cyber, intelligence, engineering, special forces, creates effects far beyond the battlefield. Blinding radar enables missile strikes, hitting factories starves the front, destroying railways blocks reinforcements. It's a symphony of disruption, orchestrated for maximum effect with minimal resources. The war is being fought on every front, physical, digital, and psychological. Ukraine is proving that distance is no longer a shield. The heart of Russia's war machine is now within reach. The Elektrodetal strike is more than a military success. It's a lesson in modern warfare. Mass and numbers no longer guarantee victory. Precision and intelligence do. A small nation, armed with the right tools and information, can outmaneuver a giant. Modern weapons are networks of complex systems. One weak link can bring them down. Identifying and exploiting these dependencies is the new high ground. Future wars will be won by those who understand and disrupt supply chains, not just by those who build bigger armies. The Elektrodetal attack is a wake-up call for every nation reliant on single-source suppliers. Ukraine has shown how ingenuity can turn an enemy's strength into a fatal weakness. The future of conflict will be defined by targeted strikes with cascading effects. As the war continues, watch for more examples of the choke point doctrine in action. These quiet surgical blows may decide not just this war, but the wars to come.